Hey everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive. Today, we're exploring some incredible ancient texts to uncover a mind-blowing secret why true wealth actually has absolutely nothing to do with money. I promise you, the insights we're unpacking today will completely change how you view your life. So let's jump right in. I want you to stop for a second and ask yourself a really provocative question. Right now, what is truly the most valuable asset in your entire life? Most of us might instantly think of a big house, a fat bank account, or a booming business. But the ancient wisdom we're looking at today offers a completely different and honestly a much more profound answer.
As you can see here, these ancient parables teach us that true wealth isn't about hoarding external material things at all. Instead, it's found by conquering our internal struggles, the battles inside our own minds, and, just as importantly, by properly nurturing our physical bodies.
Part 1. The Fires of Lust and Hunger. Let's look at the very baseline of human suffering.
To make this crystal clear, we're going to look at two powerful stories from the texts. The first is about a young husband who is so completely blinded by lust for a maiden that he literally ignores the Buddha sitting right in front of him. The second story features a poor man whose lost ox leaves him frantically searching, starving, and totally distracted. What's fascinating about that first story is how it was handled. To cure the young man's blindness, the Buddha temporarily made the maiden invisible and delivered this incredibly powerful quote: "No fire equals lust." It's a striking way to explain that the desires burning in our minds are actually hotter and more destructive than any physical flame. Now, shifting to our starving poor man, the Buddha actually refused to preach a single word until this man was fed with leftovers and completely full. This led to a profound realization. Hunger is the greatest disease. Why? Because it's a chronic condition we have to constantly treat with food every single day. The main takeaway here is absolutely crucial. You simply cannot achieve spiritual clarity or mental peace while your body and mind are actively ravaged by these basic diseases. Taking care of our foundational needs correctly is the very first step to finding true calm. Moving on to part 2, we have an amazing, relatable story, the king's weight loss lesson. Imagine eating an absolutely massive quantity of rice every single day. One full tanan, which is a huge measure. And that's exactly what King Pasenadi of Kosala was doing, plus all the rich curries and side dishes on top of it. Just think about the toll that would take on a person's body. As you might guess, this severe gluttony resulted in intense physical distress. The king became incredibly sluggish, constantly sleepy, and he was in so much discomfort that he couldn't even sit up straight while visiting the Buddha. He was just constantly tossing and turning. The Buddha humorously but very firmly compared the king's bloated state to a large, overfed pig. He contrasted this directly with the vitality of a mindful eater, pointing out that someone who controls their portions feels light, digests easily, and ultimately ages much more gracefully. Here is where the story gets really clever. Since the king couldn't memorize the advice himself, the Buddha engineered this brilliant, ancient step-by-step diet plan. He had the king's nephew stand by, and at the king's very last bite of a meal, the nephew would recite a verse. Hearing it, the king would drop that last bite. The cook would then count those dropped grains and reduce the next meal by that exact amount. Talk about a brilliant life hack. And get this, the king literally paid his nephew 1,000 pieces of wealth for every single mealtime recitation. He basically paid a fortune to stick to his diet, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that investing in your health is the best investment you can make. The transformation was just spectacular. By conquering his overeating, the king not only gained a light, energetic body capable of horseback riding and hunting, but his newfound clarity also helped him end family wars and recover lost treasures. It really shows how physical health ripples out into every area of life. Which brings us perfectly to part 3. Good health is excellent wealth. To celebrate the king's success, the Buddha delivered this timeless, iconic quote: "Good health is the greatest wealth." Think about it. Having a body free from disease is truly life's ultimate lottery win. It's the highest form of fortune you could ever ask for. Because, honestly, all the riches in the world are completely useless if you are crippled by disease or too sluggish to get out of bed. Your wealth means nothing if you don't have the physical vitality to actually enjoy it. Now, let's explore the mental side in part 4. Contentment is the supreme treasure.
Beyond just the physical body, true wealth also happens in the mind. Contentment is defined here as finding deep, genuine joy in whatever modest possessions or circumstances you currently have. When you are truly satisfied with what you have, it instantly extinguishes those burning fires of lust and greed we talked about earlier. This table is like a master key to human happiness. It maps out exactly how mastering our basic conditions leads to the highest joy. You cure disease with good health, the greatest wealth. You cure greed with contentment, the supreme treasure. It's a beautiful, logical roadmap to lasting peace. Finally, Part 5, the path to true happiness. Let's tie this all together. The journey from the suffering young man to the transformed king teaches us something profound. True liberation only happens when we balance the physical body and calm the mind. Supreme happiness is what blooms when the fires of lust and the heavy burdens of gluttony are completely extinguished. So, I leave you with this final thought. How will you practice mindful health and contentment in your own life today? These ancient lessons are fantastic role models for us to follow, showing us clearly that good health and a contented mind truly are our greatest wealth. And with that, I wish you all the best. Kalhai tuktan jong mi kwam suk. May you all be happy.